Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here, joined by Coach Holt. And Coach, long time no talk. We have not talked since the Dodgers won the World Series. We've talked a lot of hot stove talk, which most of that is just opinion and conjecture. So, hey, you and I haven't had a chance really to celebrate this World Championship. And I'm just telling you, man, hey, the hot stove talk. Oh, look at that, Coach. One more time. Rep it again. Dodgers right there, baby.
I got to get the World Champion gear. I hadn't got it yet, but anyway.
That is absolutely awesome. So, hey, man, just thoughts since I've talked to you last about the World Championship, Coach?
Well, you look back on it now that we've got past the celebrations. Well, not really. I mean, but, you got over the euphoria, I guess you could call it. Now you just kind of look at it. The great accomplishment, of course, it just come out now who the three candidates for the manager of the year, and Roberts nowhere to be seen. But, I keep that perspective. I was on a small town newspaper years ago. We'd pick coach of the year, and you always got to where you felt like you were sliding.
Underdog.
Yeah. The coaches who were supposed to be good and were good, you felt like you were sliding. You're always looking for that guy who did something he wasn't supposed to. The pressure wasn't on those three guys going into this year. I mean, there's pressure on a major league manager. I'm not saying there wasn't any pressure on him, but not like the pressure Dave Roberts had on him when you bring in the people he brought in for that. So I'll get off that, but he did a great job.
Go on it as long as you want, Coach. That's fantastic. That's what this show's for.
Yeah, but I mean, and those three guys were great. We've talked about Schilt on here several times.
I haven't looked at it. What are the names?
Schilt and the Mets manager, and then the Brewers. Yeah, and Pat Murphy. Yeah, college guy, Arizona State.
Pat Murphy. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to talk to Mike Rooney, who was Pat Murphy's number one assistant. Actually, Mike, the ESPN college analyst, played for Pat Murphy at Notre Dame in the 90s and then worked for him at Arizona State. So, yeah, I love Pat Murphy. So.
I do too. And I'm a baseball purist, Cage. I'm a Dodger fanatic, but I'm a baseball purist. Those guys did great jobs. One of them's going to win it, and they're very deserving. But somebody, I guess we're looking at something we're close to all the time. But Roberts, I told you last year, I thought he did a great job. Lose your entire starting rotation. Give that to anyone. They wouldn't have made the playoffs. And the Dodgers won this division by 14 games last year. This year, same situation, injury after injury after injury to key pieces. With all the pressure in the world, like we said, Case, when we start the season, that's what we talked about. Everybody else has too.
Yeah.
This is no brain surgery here. The Dodgers are win the World Series or bust. I mean, that's what they were built for.
They've said it.
Yeah, you don't spend that kind of money. If he don't win the World Series, it was an unsuccessful year. And so the pressure there and what he accomplished, he did a great job. He don't need a trophy, or he's got the trophy he wanted. He's got the big one he wanted, and so did the players. But, that's something there. But you look back on it, just the accomplishment of the guys. And, Ohtani was really at the plate a non-factor in the World Series.
Yeah, right.
It's just like Judge was for them. So we talk about this all the time. As good as your weakest link. We talk about that as coach's case in every sport. And the Dodgers had guys step up and down every game. Of course, Freddie was tremendous from the first game on. And it's just a great accomplishment. Not only that, but the guys up and down, there's some guys in the ended up the minor leagues. I know they got to celebrate with the Dodgers later that came up and down that came in during a key part of the year and had to do stuff. So this isn't just those guys who are on the World Series roster. It's a great deal for the organization from top to bottom, ownership all the way through the front office and the kids in the minor league, the managers in the minor leagues. It's a celebration and a testament to all the success and the reason for success in the Dodger organization. Yeah. And it's just great to look back on it. And now they got to see the fruits of their labor and got the big one. That's what everybody shoots for.
Absolutely. And I like to back up these shows. We'll have plenty of time to talk about trade talks, the hot stove, free agency. I mean, there's going to be plenty of time to talk about all that. And we have a lot of prospect coverage. Matter of fact, I've already interviewed three of the young gentlemen in our system today: Elijah Hainline, Patrick Cope, and Cameron Decker. I'm going to talk to Hyunil Choi, who is a 2021 minor league pitcher of the year here at 8:30. So super excited about that. And then we have Alex Makarowicz that I'm going to interview, and then Garrett McDaniels. And so we just have a whole slew. And then all the managers and all that. I'm going to get you involved with that. I'm going to try to get you in with some of the, like the Michael Groves and the Landon Knacks and the Ben Kaspariuses. I'm going to see if you want to be a part of some of those interviews as we move on. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I say all that to say, I think it's very important as Dodgers fans. You know, Coach Barikoff told me this a couple times throughout the season. He's right. I just kept hyperventilating about, okay, everything's geared towards the playoffs because the Dodgers haven't done well. And so, like, I couldn't enjoy, like, a good win in May.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, are we going to win the World Series, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's I couldn't relax. Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
So we finally win the World Series. I'm not moving on for a long time. No, I mean, this has been such heartache. It's been pressure. It's been like I didn't feel pressure as a fan necessarily, but I did feel anxiety. Like, is this ever actually going to happen, or are the Dodgers just going to just continue to not get this done? And so I like to back up every now and then, like tonight, and just continue to celebrate. I think it's very important that as fans, we've gone through so much heartache, especially in the last couple of years. Don't move on too fast. Let it continue to soak in. Let it continue to bring you joy, and let's just continue to have fun with it, right?
I totally agree, Case. I mean, you know, you go back and remember, you know, the previous Dodgers World Series of my lifetime, the championships, and especially '88, you know, because of the way that happened. And the players even mentioned that. Some of them mentioned the first thing out of their mouths were like,
yes,
I guess they can get off the 2020 deal.
Yes, right, exactly.
By the 2020 deal. But I even heard, you probably remember one of our players that maybe you probably interviewed somewhere along the line. I think it was you, maybe Joe Kelly, one of those guys that never talked about everybody put an asterisk on the 2020. It was actually tougher. It was a tougher tournament.
No, that was Joe Kelly.
It was
in
Joe
my
Kelly.
Interview with him that actually said that.
Yeah, he said it's actually tougher because you had more rounds against quality company. I don't care the stadium, this big, beautiful stadium's empty, but you're still on the field playing against great players, and it was tougher what they had to do on the field. I know everybody wants to put an asterisk by whatever. Yeah, the Lakers won the NBA that year too. Put one on that for all
I'm not going to lie, it is different. I mean, yes, it is something that's not the same.
It's like a strike shortened season. I have to go
Doesn't
back
mean it's easier, but it's still not the same.
It's not the same. Right. So the players, you could see it. I mean, they felt, okay.
Dave Roberts.
And some of them mentioned it very eloquently. F off, you know, forget it.
Yeah.
Say something about 2020 now. Yes.
I stood on the same field with you on the grounds crew in 2019 when you were with Oklahoma City Dodgers, and you want to come out and make those statements.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't make them now, Alex.
Can't make them now. You know, but
that's how that felt.
And the thing about you still got to do stuff on the field, Case. We talk about this as high school American Legion managers. You know, whatever. Everybody run their freaking mouths. People prediction here. You know, publication here. It doesn't make a damn when you get out there. And that's a great part about Dave. And I've seen a lot of still people repeating when he goes out there and talks to Trine and hits him on the chest. You're staying. I mean, there was no analytics there.
Take us home, big boy.
And Trinan wanted it. I'll get this.
Damn
guy.
right he did.
Yeah, it's like you know,
he's a dude, man.
It's like Hoosiers. You know, Jimmy says, "I'll hit it. Go. I'll make the shot." That's what that's what you want. He's just like there were no analytics out there.
Those are two humans trusting each other in a huge moment. No history books, no textbooks, no 3-ring binders. It is one human talking to the next and them saying, I got it. The manager saying, I trust you. Let's go do it. And then they did it.
I've done it on a few occasions where you've turned around and gone back to the dugout, and I'll just look at them and go, I'll be over here if you need me. I just turn and get off the damn field. You know, sometimes you kind of just, things hit you go on the field, and Dave did a great job just in the entire year. I know he's got more information than anyone could ever ask for, but it really came down.
Way too much.
It's almost too much. Yeah, it came right down to it. It's way too much.
I asked the players, Coach. They'll tell you it's too much.
It's like, you know, I've talked about this before, Case. We're both Oklahoma State University fans, but we got great respect for Bob Stoops, the great Oklahoma University coach. He said, analytics is just for people who don't do their job and want an excuse. That's probably too far the extreme, but to him, that's what it was.
Yes,
he didn't coach football that way. He had all the information he needed. He had scout reports. He's got this. He's got that. They got, whatever. Doesn't matter. He's coaching that team.
When he says analytics, he's talking about people who've never played.
Absolutely.
That they make every decision based off of some number they crunch. That's what he's talking about.
Absolutely. So, as we said, even at high school level, I love spray charts, man. I mean, if you got enough games, you can tell exactly where a guy's going to hit the ball, and you got all the information. Right. It's created on the high school level, whatever. But
as long as your pitcher executes.
Yeah. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a pitcher good enough to throw it to the spot I'm calling anyway. So
well, watch the big league guys. You'll see the catcher sit up inside, leaks out over the middle of the plate. You see the catcher drop. As soon as it's hit, you see the catcher drop his head. It happens to the greatest pitchers in the world. So
I've interviewed probably 5 professional pitchers that have more walks than they do innings pitched.
Yeah.
I mean, so that kind of just goes to show you the analytics and the scouting reports. They're great, but I mean, go watch a Rancho game and tell me that they're looking at a scouting report.
Exactly.
They're trying to find the catcher's mitt, Yeah. I mean,
I was a baseball guy, Case, as you know. That's all I was, and I got a high school basketball job.
Yeah.
and a wise coach at Oklahoma State University, and Jerry Havens, who knows a great high school coach in Oklahoma, and Dick Halterman, a great cowgirl basketball coach. They both said the same thing to me, and I never forgot. They go, when it goes in the hole, when it doesn't go in the hole, there's no way it's going to look good. Yeah. Same thing. I've got scouting reports. I got great players. I got everything I need. But if you're shooting 20%, it don't make a damn.
It does not make any difference. The ball doesn't go. If you don't hit the ball, it doesn't matter, right?
No, I mean, can't mask it. That's what. So it's true in every sport. You can have the best laid plans and blah blah blah, and the scouting reports and everything. But that's what's so impressive about with the Dodgers. I'll still go to my grave saying the best 2 teams in baseball played the first round of the Padres and the Dodgers. I really believe that.
No,
I really believe that.
I don't
like the Padres. None of us do. I'm not saying that.
Respect
but I got
them.
respect for them. I respect Mike Schilt, the job he's done, and the athletes they got there. I won't even say – I can say Cronenworth now. So we beat him, so I'll say I like Jake Cronenworth. I like their players outside of the same 3 everybody else hates. I won't even mention those guys' names, the same 3 everybody don't like. But Cronenworth and some other guys they got over. And then the rookie kid, that kid had a great year. I guess he could be rookie of the year. He should be if he's not. But, they had a great team. But I still feel that way. Jackson Merrill, yeah. I still feel that way.
You'll remember his name one of these days.
Yeah, no kidding. I never remember his name. I sit there, got up at 4:30 in the morning like everybody else and watching play in Japan. The kid is wearing it out. I'm going, damn. They said he's in Class A ball last year. Why in the hell would I remember?
I think you're intentionally trying to forget his name because he's so good.
Yes, he is very good. And it's a great story, and that's, again, it goes with the baseball purist in both of us, Case. You see a kid accomplish stuff like that. It's great. It's easier said that because we beat them. If they'd have beat our ass the first round, I wouldn't be near as complimentary towards them.
Doubt.
Because I'd be butthurt. But I'm not butthurt. I'm very happy, just like you are.
Oh, man. I'm still in cloud 9. We're going to get into some roster building here in a second. Let's get to the hot topic for tonight.
Okay.
Walker Buehler. And it is one of those interesting deals because analytics would say no because, he didn't have a very good year. You wouldn't think that you would bank on overall having another good year, especially compared to the types of arms the Dodgers are going to have access to. I mean, you're talking about possibly signing Roki Sasaki. You're talking about maybe going to get a Max Fried, a Corbin Burns, that kind of guy. You're going to reinsert Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May. Shohei Ohtani is coming back. Walker Buehler is going to be back. So it's like, okay, where do we insert a Clayton Kershaw, not Walker Buehler.
Right.
Where do we reinsert a Walker Buehler into a roster that's already full of great options? And we don't even know if Walker Buehler is going – now, we know he was great in the playoffs when he had to be, but who's to say he's not going to return to the regular season Walker Buehler when the adrenaline's not the same, right? So, to me, it's a really interesting question because the coach in me says – when I got a dog like Blake Trinan and Walker Buehler that will go out there and have no fear and take me through the finish line, I want to get in that foxhole with that guy, and I never want to come out, right? But then the analytics part of your brain says, well, God, we got all these other guys, right? So it's just a really interesting decision with Walker Buehler, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Case. And you said it's a great question. It's like what you said. I got analytics on one side, but also the last time I saw Blake Trinan and Walker Buehler, they're standing in the middle of Yankee Stadium with everybody on their ass.
Shoving.
In a crucial situation and shoving it. And all those other guys you mentioned, that's great, but they all have most of those guys you just mentioned have something in common. They've all been hurt. We did not have them. So, Buehler went through some injury stuff there too. So did Trinan. So, it's interesting, are we going to get back those guys that come back off injury? They're going to be back like they were, or they're going to be close to what they were. That's the thing.
Nobody knows.
Here's what I do know. what I just said a minute ago.
Yes.
Stand in the
last
middle of
time
Yankee
you saw
Stadium,
those two.
Stand in the middle of Yankee Stadium last time I saw these two cats. They were there in hostile territory against a great team with the most famous franchise in the history of sports, definitely baseball, the New York Yankees, and looked them in the eye and said, I got this. Get your ass out of here. We're fixing to take the trophy and celebrate on your field, by the way. There you go. Yeah. So that's my last vision of those two guys. My last vision. I wasn't in there drinking in the clubhouse with them. I wish I would have. That'd been a blast. But my last vision of those two guys is, hey, talk about, got what they had to have right there.
Yeah.
You can't question that. The other guys, there's some of those guys you just mentioned, we don't know if they can do that. And I know it's a long season.
We think they can.
But
we know Walker Buehler can.
Walker Buehler has done it. His World Series record speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
That's
hard to give up on.
So that's a tough decision for the front office.
It is.
I know how I feel. I just told you how I feel. I want to keep them all. I want them all healthy.
Absolutely.
I want all of them, or we're just kicking everybody's ass next year, and everybody we throw out there is a dude. I know that's not possible, and I know they have to make some tough decisions. I don't envy those guys.
Do you want to be going against Buehler in the World Series?
No.
Hell no. That's another aspect of it. Last thing I want is Walker Buehler trying to get the last 3 outs against the Dodgers.
Yes, because he's
going to do it.
Yeah, he wants it. He wanted this.
Jesus.
The dude, like you said, Case, we saw in Oklahoma City in August. This cat worked from it's 1,000 degrees in Oklahoma City in August, and there's 12 fans there. You're back there, you can hear every cuss word he said.
And there were 9 pitchers in that game.
Yes,
and he was the 9th best pitcher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You talk about where this guy has pulled himself from and worked and whatever. That's God dang, man. They can't make those decisions on their heart, which is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
I know
correct.
They can't make those decisions on their heart and how they feel. And I've even saw the other day, somebody threw out there somewhere that, they may trade Lux. I'm going, what the hell, man? It's my favorite
I've said it. I think they will.
No, and I think they will too. When they said Mookie's going back to the infield, I think that's pretty much something's getting ready to happen. Yeah, and I love Gavin Lux. I don't care where he goes. I'm going to love him forever. He's one of us. So, just hope he don't come back to haunt us again. Luckily, Verdugo did not haunt us. But anyway.
If they trade Lux right now, everybody's happy. The Lux is at the highest peak value.
Yes.
The Dodgers are getting Mookie Betts at second base. Lux is going to get a great landing spot.
Yes.
The Dodgers gave him the opportunity to get back on top of his game, to give him a major league career from here on out.
Yeah.
If they trade Lux right now, as much as we love Gavin,
yes,
it is a win-win for everybody, in my opinion.
It's going to be great for him. You're right.
Yeah, for everybody.
He's going to be great. I don't know the young man. I wish I did, but he's going to be very grateful that the Dodgers stuck with him. Hey, like we said, we're in spring training. Hey, dude, get off shortstop and go to, get your ass over second base. We're going to.
And then how about go to right field?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. This cat, and
he's like, okay.
And you're playing. We need you to play in the major leagues. We're not prepared. We're not sending you to Tulsa to get your feet under you.
Left field, Gavin Lux.
You're going to be playing in major league. So, like I said, you're right. That's a great point, Case. Wherever he lands, it's great for everybody. The Dodgers have
they did him right, Coach. They did right by Gavin Lux.
From all indications of us, they did him right. They stuck with him. He was our best hitter right after the All-Star break and saved our bacon a lot of times there while we was going through some injuries and stuff. So credit to him. Great young man, and best of luck to him. I hope we don't trade him, but if we do, I get it. Like you said it best, Case. It'll be the best thing for him and the Dodgers if they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Dodgers Dogs, as part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Coach, I always say it. The absolute best baseball fans on earth. They're having a great conversation about Walker Buehler right here, and they're absolutely on it, Coach. The comment here is that I think you signed Walker Buehler. This is from Mike Jones, who signed Walker Buehler for 1 year with a club option for the next.
Yep.
If somebody offers him more than that, you let him go.
Yep.
Because you said, okay, you can't make this decision with your heart.
Yep.
So you've got to use your brain, not your heart. Well, I think the best combination of those two is if you can get Walker Buehler for 1 year with the option for the team to keep him for the second, but they don't have to keep him for that second year. I think that's the perfect combination between making a decision, like you said, hey, my God, the last time we saw this sumbitch, he was shoving the last 3 outs of the World Series.
In the middle of Yankee Stadium. Anybody ever been there? I haven't.
we're not throwing that in the trash can. So if he wants to come back next year, come on, big boy, let's go. But we're not going to do it for like 3 years.
Yeah,
I think that's the perfect combination of the heart and the sound decision making with your brain.
That would be a great offer from the Dodgers because they have stuck with him.
Give him a prove-it year with the Dodgers, right?
Yeah. Hey, stick with us, and if you want to come back for another year, if you can get a better deal, nobody's going to think of work. Go get your thing. But I think that's on point there. Whoever the Dodger dog that mentioned that right there, that's a good point.
That's Mike Jones who, and then the prove-it years, Alex the God, our wonderful moderator.
Oh yeah, those guys are right on it, and that's absolutely correct. If you can get a deal like that for Buehler, and let him, we already know he can prove himself. Well, he don't have to prove himself to anybody, but is he going to be healthy? Here's the other part that we don't know, Case. All those guys are rehabbing. All those guys are on their way back. I haven't seen them throw pins.
Coach, nobody knows.
Somebody does. Somebody in the organization knows. I'm assuming somebody is keeping track, of their rehab.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about somebody knows. There's somebody watching those guys throw. If they're to the point where they're throwing rehab pins, if they're to the point, if everything's going according to plan as far as him coming back, somebody in the organization knows. I damn sure don't know, and probably know that other fans do.
But nobody can tell you how Dustin May's command's going to be.
No, absolutely.
Nobody can.
No.
They can tell you what his stuff is going to look like. They can't tell you how he's actually going to execute. There's nobody on earth that can tell you that. As good as the Dodgers are, they can't do that. They couldn't predict it with Walker Buehler.
Nope.
Coach, they had no freaking idea. I'm telling you, just like Gavin Lux was like 2 or 3 days away from being sent to Oklahoma City, Walker Buehler was like 1 or 2 starts away from not even being on the playoff roster.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what he was going to do in the playoffs. So I say that to say there is so much uncertainty to all these guys that are injured. Nobody knows. I mean, they know they're going to be healthy. The arm's going to feel okay, right? Yeah. But you don't know how a guy's going to execute. You just never know that coming off of injury.
You never know that anyway, the pitchers. Like I told you before,
absolutely.
Hey, who you got throwing tonight? So, hell, is he ready to go? Hell, I don't know.
Hell, I'll tell you about the third inning.
I'll let you know when he gets out there. Hell, I don't know. He's starting for us. He's got
he was last time.
He looked good last time. So there's so many, especially with pitching, that you don't know. And then the Dodgers have great options there.
They do.
You're hoping all those cats come back, healthy and everything, and they could have an unbelievable staff. We hadn't even talked about Ohtani as a pitcher. The guy's 100 plus.
Right.
If he comes back like he was,
is he 100 plus? I didn't realize that.
I think he was. I think he hit 100. Have to look it up. I'm pretty sure that he had hit 100 when he was healthy. At some point in his career.
Yeah. Norm Lee is the one where I got the idea of, hey, if they go like 3 years, then we can't do that. Norm Lee, as always, go read Norm Lee's comment on our hot take today. Bringing his A game again, man. Norm Lee is always on his A game. Hey, Roy Estrada, Craig Osterberg, Daniel Clark, Mike Lopez, Orlando. Before we get back here, our wonderful moderator, Gregory, Daniel Berry Sports Highlight, History Man, Alex the God. Thank you so much for joining Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network tonight as we talk Dodgers baseball. And again, we're talking some hot stove tough stuff. We're talking Walker Buehler, but we're also backing up every now and then and celebrating a world championship that we have fought so hard for as fans and as an organization that I want people to savor it. I don't want people to move on too fast and already start thinking about next year. Now, some, yes, but I want people to at least me, I'm going to savor it for as long as I can, right?
Yeah, us fans. That's our job, man.
Yeah.
I hadn't even got my hat and shirt yet to celebrate the World Series title. I know my daughter will get me one for Christmas. She got me one last time. I still got the 2021. My daughter Neely got me, so I'm sure she'll get me one. But I'm gonna get myself one. But no, that's our job to celebrate. Now the big boys up there, the front office guys, they're already working on next year. Obviously, they are. They have to. They're in the office doing their thing, and that's
got a bunch of decisions.
Oh man, that's their deal. They got tough ones, and man, looking at recent history, I trust those guys. I mean, but there's no guarantee that every decision makes going to work. As we just said, there's no guarantees on anything there. But the things they've done the last couple of years have been tremendous.
Yeah,
personnel wise, and I don't, you just trust them. No, we know they're not going to be. Everything's not 100%. That's just the way it is in baseball. Nothing is. If you're 30%, you're a hell of a player. There's no other sport like it. If you're 30% in anything, in those sports, you suck. You're not playing. But if you're a 30%, batting average, you're pretty damn good. So
you are.
There's things they got to work with here. So it's exciting time to be there. Like I said, man, we're still celebrating, dude. Just happened. It seemed like it just happened. I'm going to be celebrating for a while. And like I said, I hadn't really got on my boys who are the Yankee fans. I've taken it easy on them. I did like the meme I saw where, they'd announced that, Aaron Judge would be at Times Square on New Year's Eve to drop the ball. They had a picture of it anyway. So if Judge
I have not seen that. Oh, God.
Has it been announced that Aaron Judge will be in Times Square on New Year's Eve to drop the ball there? I mean, that's a pretty good one. So I love it. He's a great player. It happened. It's the same old thing, though, Case. Yeah, he did that. A lot of shit happened after that, though.
Yeah, that's terrible. Of course.
Shit happened. We still had to get base hits.
Well, I mean, Coach Bill Buckner's era was in Game 6. Steve Bartman was Game 6, right?
I just started to get there. Buckner's Game 6. And don't get me started on Buckner. He's a former Dodger. I'll fight for that guy. Yeah, I love that dude. What a ball player. And all you hear about is that crap with he's out there on a broken ankle, probably. He probably should have been the damn game.
Still should have made the play. Understood.
And he'll tell you that. It's Game 6, dude. Same way with the Bartman deal, Game 6. Quit blaming the whole damn series on one thing, and when you got another game to play, same thing there. Yeah, Judge dropped a fly ball. Hey, if the pitcher covers first base, it's still 5-0.
Absolutely.
Behind. So the hell with that, whatever. And there's other things went on, but you know what happened? The Dodgers saw that. The Dodgers get credit for taking advantage of that. They didn't have to get base hits. Yeah, right. They didn't have to tie the damn game up there. They still could have been down 5-0 with 3 errors.
You're 100% correct. Give the Dodgers credit for that.
The Dodgers get credit. The Yankees opened the door and they stormed through the damn thing.
They did. You forget the big hits after that.
Yes.
Like the Teo Hernandez hit and all that.
Yeah, hell yeah. You still had to get base hits.
You remember the drop fly ball, the not covering first. You forget that the Dodgers actually had to execute and come up clutch, even though, because if it leaves that inning at 5-2, game over.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Even though he don't cover first base, the next guy pops up, it's still 5-0. There's so much other shit that went on. The Dodgers did it, though. That's the thing about, hey, you open the door for them, they took advantage of it. That's what happens.
So it's kind of interesting you say that because, I was a nervous wreck about this thing. If this thing starts snowballing, the Yankees are good enough to where you're not going to stop them, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Especially with the limited amount of Dodgers pitching that we had. And I found it so gratifying that Dave Roberts came out and said, point blank, I was scared to death to come back to Los Angeles. And I was like, oh, damn, that's like exactly what I had been saying the whole entire time, right? And the manager said that. I was like, that is such a real human being comment for them to make. For some reason, that made me feel like gratification, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, because that's how I was feeling. Like, man, if we lose this freaking game, we come back to Los Angeles, we might be in trouble.
Yeah, I think we all felt the same way. It's interesting for Roberts to come out later and go, I was scared to death.
Oh, hell yeah.
People like, hey, let's go back to L.A. We're on our home turf. The hell with that. I want to celebrate in Yankee State. I want them to watch us. I want them to watch it, which we did. But I'm just saying that's interesting because we all felt the same. But the biggest part of that would have been we can talk like this because it didn't happen.
Because it didn't happen. Yes,
it didn't happen. We can sit there and act like we know what the hell we're talking about. But you go 3-2 means the Yankees had won 2 in a row. Now you're going back. They got all the momentum. Going back, and they're freaking good. So no, getting it done right there. Man, it's storybook to me.
It absolutely was storybook. It needed to happen.
Yep.
It needed to happen in that game. Okay, so let's get back to a little bit more hot stove talk here, which I'm sure is what the fans are, the mood that they're in at this point. So, to me, to sit down, the Dodgers have so many different decisions to make, right? Like Walker Buehler, they're going to keep Clayton Kershaw. What free agent do you get? Do you go get like a reliever like Devin Williams to be your closer? Do you go get a Corbin Burns? Do you go get a center fielder? Do you sign Juan Soto? Do you get Willie Adames? You have all these questions, right? So I think the way that you answer all these questions that don't really have a wrong answer, right? They're all right answers. Like, You could go get Juan Soto, right answer. You could go get Willie Adames, right answer. You could go get Devin Williams, right answer. You could go get Corbin Burns, right answer. So none of these guys have a wrong answer to them. Walker Buehler, right answer. Clayton Kershaw, right answer. Okay, all that. So I say that to say, I think when you're trying to come up with the differentiating factors of who you are going to go get or keep, I think the first thing you have to do is you have to sit down as a staff and an organization and go, okay, guys, we know we have great talent, but what is it exactly that got us over the finish line? Why did we actually win the World Series this year and we didn't in other years, right? So I think that's the first conversation you have to have when determining how to build your roster for the next season.
And I think we talked about it, and the players, but we talked about it even before. I know we mentioned several times during the season, this was a team that's grinders. This is a team that had grinders on it. They weren't pretty boy, la land, show up late, leave early crap like some of the whatever. It wasn't the typical what other people put on us as the la land guys, the Hollywood boys. They were good until it got really tough and they couldn't handle the pressure. These guys had grinders. We had guys that come from behind, fought injuries and bad things that happened to the ball club, and they all bonded together. So in football they talk about a culture, whatever sport, but basically your program. With this college, you have a culture that comes from the head on down, whatever.
So that's number one for you?
Yeah, that's your clubhouse.
So Soto out.
Yeah, you've already had my opinion. I won't be pissed if they sign him because he's a
if culture's your number one differentiator, then Soto's out.
To me, it is. But here's my deal. Do I want to get guys who are going to disrupt what I'm saying? I don't disagree.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
You know that you guys.
Preach, Coach.
Somebody knows the guys better than I do. From outwardly looking in, I would say he wouldn't fit our culture. Now that being said, to heck with that. The guy's a generational ball player. Okay, and he's still young. So if they do sign him, I'm not going to be pissed off. But I'm just saying those guys get to make those decisions. I don't know these guys personally. All the ones you named off. I know they're great players. But you asked the question, what got us over the hump to win the World Series? In my opinion, it's that we had a different mentality. They had the grinding, the dirt daubers, we used to call them, Case, that mentality of we're not ever out of this damn thing. And I don't know that we had that in the past. Our managers had the, dirt dauber. Hell, I watched the comeback the other day, on Netflix, the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Interviewed
I told you to watch it.
Oh, it's awesome. I love that stuff. But he's right in the middle of it. But anyway. We had it from the manager on down. So I don't know those guys that you're talking about personally. I know they're all great players. I'm never going to complain if the Dodgers sign a great player. But, I think there is something to the fact, in my opinion, as a coach and old fart that's been around culture in a high school level and whatever and all the sports, if the Dodgers, if they sit there and look at each other, here's what was really the difference for us this year. And they got the answer. I don't. I'm a fan, but they've got the answer. They need to try to stay within that realm. But that being said, God dang, you can't turn, whether I want Soto or not doesn't mean a damn thing. The guy's a generational talent. Put him in the top 5 of the big leagues probably.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I'm damn sure not going to be pissed. They've got some plan for somebody in the outfield. If they're moving Mookie back in already, they've already announced that. They've got plans of something out there. And like I said, I won't be pissed if they get him, but I won't be pissed off if they don't. I'll just put it that way.
So if the gritty dirt dauber type mentality and then the culture as far as the clubhouse were the two biggest reasons, in your opinion, that the Dodgers were able to actually get over the hump this time, then that tells me that you need to re-sign Walker Buehler because he is that guy. And then you need to sign Teo Hernandez because he got a lot of those gritty 2-strike hits.
Yep.
He got the big hit in that inning we're talking about after the Mookie Betts play at first base where Garrett Cole didn't cover it. He got some huge hits, and he was perfect for the Dodgers culture. So if your two biggest considerations are culture and grittiness, then the first two guys you sign are Walker Buehler and Teo Hernandez.
I'd go for that. And like I said, Case,
by your qualifications.
Yeah, by my qualifications. It might mean nothing. I'm sitting here in Oklahoma, a little high school American Legion coach, but just looking at the ball club, and we've talked about it. I think Roberts even said this is the toughest team he ever coached.
Yes.
We got some pretty boys, but they're also tough boys. They're not sissified as some people call them. They can be categorized. Hey,
you can be pretty and gritty.
Yes,
but you just have. But if you have to be one or the other, you need to be gritty, not pretty.
Yeah. Well, when it comes down to it,
preferably you're both. The best players are pretty and gritty, right?
Yeah. Do you want to win or not? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt Tom Brady's a pretty boy,
but he's grittier than hell.
Get in the damn huddle when they mic that cat up on the sideline, the huddle. Hell, he's on. He's a mad dog over there. That's why he's a great quarterback. It ain't because he's pretty. He don't have the best arm, but he's a dog over there. Competitive nature, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. I'm not making that decision. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint. If that to me, we've had talent. Now we had more talent this year. We had 3 Hall of Famers right there. 3 MVPs right at the top of the order. But the Dodgers have been talented. But they hadn't pissed a drop in the playoffs. I'll just say it. Hadn't pissed a drop in the playoffs in a while.
You're not talking shit there, Coach.
So I'm saying.
Stating facts.
And I love them. I'll die. I'm going to die with the Dodger blue on, baby. I mean, that's how I roll. But I'm just saying, what? So what's the difference? We all got an opinion as Dodger dogs. We all got our opinion. Some guys don't agree with me, and that's fine. But I'm just looking at it going, okay, so, yeah, we had a lot. Talent doesn't do it, man. If that was the case, the Yankees or the Dodgers will win it every year, and they don't. Yeah. It ain't happening because they usually have the most talent. The Padres might have had more talent than anybody this year. They didn't win it. So, I don't know. There's a lot of ways of looking at it. Tough decisions.
Especially once Ohtani got hurt. The Dodgers were a different team there.
Yep.
Hey, Cole says talent alone. Good evening, Cole. Says talent alone is great, but the seriousness of the vets will set the tone for the team. This is a great comment, Coach.
Yes,
because,
it is.
Okay, a manager can do a lot. Right? A manager sets the overall tone, but if your best players aren't also your toughest and grittiest players that want to win the most and the hardest workers, a manager can't do anything. So that's a great point by Cole.
That's a great point, and it's spot on. Your dad used to say it, Case. Your dad, Terry Porter, hit it big time. How many times do you hear him yell out of the stands? Your coach shouldn't have to yell at you every day to make you play hard. You shouldn't have to get on your ass every day to make you play hard. You guys were in high school. And you didn't have to worry about me getting on your ass because I would. But the point's well taken. It goes back to that to me is the culture deal we're talking about. Yeah. I mean, the clubhouse. I mean, Dave Roberts can't go in there and start throwing chairs and kicking crap like Tony Holt used to.
He can every now and then.
But
if he's having to do it every day, there's no effect to it.
No. And I love Buehler tearing up a trash can over there. Hell, I told you that's one of my favorite points.
But if he did it 3 games in a row,
no, it doesn't mean anything. He's just a hothead. No, he did it because he got everybody's attention. It's the same thing. So I don't, that's a great point. That's a great point. We obviously had great culture in the clubhouse. Obviously, Freddie.
By the biggest, best players. They wanted to win the most. Trust me, Mookie Betts wanted to win.
Yeah, when I coached.
You want to know what Mookie Betts' favorite bat of the year was?
Yeah.
His fly ball to give the Dodgers the lead.
Yes.
A sacrifice fly was Mookie Betts' favorite at bat of the year.
A fly.
That should go to show you right there how much he wanted to win.
I remember coaching Stillwater High School. I had defensive linemen. They probably put me over there because I had 3 D1 guys. They knew I couldn't screw it up. So, but the thing I always said about those D1 guys, Case, they were the best practice players, and they weren't mounting. Now, they were mouthy on game night. They didn't mind hitting you in the freaking mouth. But, I mean, on practice days, they were the hardest practice players. They did everything by leaders. They led in the weight room. They were the best on practice field. It wasn't a secret why they were the best. It's the same thing there. You go in the clubhouse, you got Mookie and Freddie, Ohtani and those guys, the cats that have been around, the Dodger players, the veterans. They're carrying themselves. Well, I think they said it best when they had the 5 days off. I think Max Muncy talked about that. They hung out the clubhouse, just hung out with each other. That's the first time I ever did it. They just hung together and went out, worked out, played cards, and just stayed focused, stayed together, even though they weren't playing in games. He thought that was a big thing. It goes back to, again, I'll quit saying the old C word now, it's culture. There's something, that you have all you want for the Dodgers, all this and that, but, that he's spot on his comment there. Yeah. The clubhouse had to be tremendous for them to accomplish what they did this year.
Did. Absolutely. Pocket Rude Boy, this is a great comment too. Gentlemen, how are you? How are you doing, Pocket Rude Boy? How do you feel about a package around Luis Robert and Garrett Crochet for Lux, Cartaya, Outman, and May? If that was the package, Yeah, you signed that yesterday.
Yeah, where's the ink pen at? Yeah, the ink's not even dry on that.
Yeah,
baby.
I mean, you get Garrett Crochet, who's one of the most elite left-handed pitchers. You get an elite center fielder defensively, which replaces the very good defense from Outman.
Yep.
And then you get also a guy in Luis Robert Jr. that has the potential to be elite offensively too. So, yeah, I think it would take quite a bit more than that to go get those two guys, but something like that. That's what I've been saying too, is that with those two guys, I think the White Sox might package them to get a bigger haul because they're in shambles. They need young guys. So
yeah,
that the Crochet and Luis Robert Jr. thing to me is very intriguing because of the package part of it.
Yeah, and they're not, at some point they're not going to be able to pay those guys anyway.
Right.
They get 2,000 or 3,000 fans at a freaking game in Chicago, whatever they had this summer. They're like you said, they're in shambles. So they're going to be doing something. That's a great part of what the Dodgers accomplished. T.O. came here, he talked about he wanted to win a world championship. Ohtani never been in the playoffs. Those guys were hungry. Very
they
hungry.
Were.
And
absolutely.
you got a lot of other hungry cats out there too. Are like, man, the Dodgers, they look good. It looks like fun. It looks like it'd be fun to play with Ohtani and Freddie and those cats, Mookie. Not only are they good, they look like they're fun. Those good dudes to play with. And, you go back, the culture, not only just the culture, but the people, the type of people the Dodgers have. They don't do what they did right there. They're having, first-class people.
Here's an interesting comment. Michael Nielsen, Dodgers should stay away from Corbin Burns. He would be my number one target just because of his playoff experience has been just as elite as his regular season appearance. But what Michael's saying is current trends, that Corbin Burns' whip is going up, which means his walks and hits per inning, which means he's becoming less efficient, and his K per nine is going down, whereas Blake Snell is the exact opposite, decrease in whip, which means Blake Snell's becoming more efficient, and an increase in strikeouts per nine. And he does not want to face Blake Snell. He doesn't want Blake Snell on a playoff rival. Does Blake Snell scare you?
He has in the past, but he's. I think we talked about this.
Would you want him just to keep him away from a rival?
No, I mean I don't think that's good. To me, it's not good enough reason. We talked about this. At one point, Case. How I felt.
Absolutely.
I want that dude. If I remember correctly, we talked at that time about how.
But I think that was more the length, like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, that's what.
But what if it's like 3 or 4 years? Does that change it for you?
That's still pretty long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still a long time.
31.
Yeah. Again, maybe go back to the 2, maybe 3. I don't know. 4 seems like a lot. You're talking about a 35-year-old. He's already shown some signs. And we talked about before, I was all in. I wanted him. I got tired of facing him. And I think you probably straightened me out. So his productivity was going down a little bit at that point. Now, he had a good year this year. So, and the guy's elite. He's a big-time pitcher. So
potential to be elite again. Yeah.
It'd be the same thing, like I said earlier. I wouldn't be pissed if they got him. I'm not going to be pissed if we don't get him.
The 2 pitchers, I've said it a couple times, the 2 pitchers I would get would be Corbin Burns and Devin Williams. I think the Brewers would move on Williams because they've moved on every big-name guy they have that only have 1 more year left in their contract, because if you go another 9 months, you're going to lose that much more value because they're that much closer to the end of their contract, whereas if you trade them with an entire year left on their contract, they have quite a bit of value. So I do think the Brewers would move Devin Williams if you're offered the right package. And I think every single expectation, goal, whatever you want to call it, is always based on winning in the playoffs for the Dodgers. And that's the one thing that Corbin Burns has done better than everybody else that has been presented in front of me in terms of a starting pitcher, at least over the longer period of time.
Yeah, that's a great point, because that's all the Dodgers are all about. I mean, that we know what you have to do to get there. We're not stupid. You got 162 games to get there, whatever. But when it comes down to it, the Dodgers are like the Yankees, World Series champs or bust. Pretty much. I mean, not a lot of people think that way, but that's how it is.
Yeah, I worry about Blake Snell being like another James Paxton, to where a better version of James Paxton, I should say, where like it's just kind of inconsistent and you really don't know what you're going to get. This Dodgers front office is so good that whether it be good, bad, average, whatever it is, if you're consistent enough for them to know what they have with you and what you're going to give them every night, they will put analytics around it and figure out how to maximize you on the margins. And then they will make you a player that helps the team. It's amazing how they do that.
I started to say, I mentioned earlier about the analytics, so it doesn't do you got to feel. Now he's got the analytics. They've got all the information, and I hope they got tons, and they keep getting more information on each of these guys, and what they're looking for, what the front office feels is important to them. Again, like you said, I got my opinion. Everybody's got their own opinion, but they're the ones that make the decisions. They know they're on the inside. They know which these pitchers are coming back that are hurt. Do they look good? Or are they not coming back like we hoped? Are they not progressing like that? I don't know. Those guys know. So they've got all the information there to make those decisions. It's going to be interesting.
It is going to be very, very interesting. So you sit down and you figure out, okay, what actually got us over the hump. So your first go-tos were grittiness, culture in the clubhouse, and then I'll say this too. I think it was, you say it the best, winning baseball plays.
Yes.
The ability to execute winning baseball plays. So I want the Dodgers to go out and target players that know how to execute winning baseball plays above all else. So you go get a guy, so your the three biggest categories. The Dodgers have talent. Yeah. Now, I mean, if Soto says, hey, I'll sign a 2-year deal, it's stupid. You take it.
Yes.
But it's going to be like 10 years, like for $600 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Just get out of here with that crap. Dodgers don't need for basically a glorified DH that you have to play in the field because you already have Shohei Ohtani. You need to rest Will Smith. Freddie Freeman's going to need some rest, maybe Max Muncy. That kind of deal. That just – 2 years, or if it's short term for Juan Soto, okay. Like if he was at the end of like a contract and you were trading for him, something like that, okay, maybe, but not for 10 years for a guy who is so one-sided, that kind of deal. So the three parameters I think you and I are putting to the front are grittiness, clubhouse culture, and then ability to execute winning baseball plays. Right. So that is so the guy like a more talented version maybe of a Tommy Edmond.
Yes.
That kind of guy, go find a guy like that can execute the game of baseball with like an elite amount of talent. Now I would have to look and research and that kind of deal, but I would look for the guy that has winning baseball play, has a winning baseball play profile.
And do what I think number one and number three are go together. I mean, the grittiness, that's usually your guys who they're willing to do the baseball play. They're willing to lay a bunt down if they need to. They're willing to hit behind the runner. I used to tell players all the time, you don't have to get a base hit to do your job. If you're worried about your batting average, you're not helping us. You can hit a ground ball the right side and get thrown out if the guy's on second, nobody out. Now we got him at third with one out. We got a chance of scoring him. Yeah, your batting average just went down, but who gives a damn? You come in the dugout, everybody's high-fiving you. Or you hit a deep fly ball to right field, and you can still do the same thing with him. You move him over. So winning baseball plays encompasses a lot of things. You got to have those guys with the mentality that they're willing to do whatever it takes to win a ball game. Whatever it takes. And we saw this on several occasions, especially in the World Series. I'd also go back to, we're sitting in San Diego getting our ass handed to us down 2-1, and people throwing dirt on them, man. Yeah. People throwing dirt on us. And you can't, no way you would come back and beat the Padres. So we just kicked their ass 2 in a row and then, and decided to shove it with some, great pitching. But whatever the case may be, nobody should ever question these guys as far as the amount of the grittiness that they have and the ability to not be affected by that sort of thing. And that is a real thing, even at the big league level in every sport. Some guys just can't handle the pressure. Even in high school, we used to call them, 4 o'clock All-Americans? Yeah. Get a guy in a batting cage down there, he looks like $1 million. Put him in a game, and he caged 4 times. And he caged 4 times, and he makes a couple errors because he can't handle the pressure. And some guys look like crap in practice. You put them in a game, they're 3 for 4. And as they used to say about Manny Mota, the great Dodger pinch hitter years ago, said, I think Joe Garagiola said, you get him up out of bed, he go 3 for 4. Just throw him up there, tell him swing a damn bat. So some guys just have the it factor, and the it factor encompasses a lot of areas, especially in baseball.
So the execution part of things, who I think that favors, and this is kind of I don't think it's necessarily going to make Dodgers fans like completely turn their head, but for me to say like, okay, I want Walker Buehler, I want Teo Hernandez, I want Roki Sasaki. And then the next guy I want. So for me to say the next guy, I think Dodgers fans are going to go, because it fits my criteria of winning baseball plays, I want Ha-Seong Kim. I want to throw that dude at shortstop. You're going to have another dirt dauber. You're going to have a certified baseball player that knows how to execute baseball plays. You're going to be able to put Tommy Edman in center, who's a certified baseball player, who is a certified winning baseball play maker.
Yep.
Right? And I think because you're adding another executor of the game in Ha-Seong Kim, a guy that can hit, Coach.
Yep.
And a good shortstop. I think that just increases your – you mentioned, hey, you're only weaker than your weakest link, right? So, I mean, I think he adds big time to your margins, which I think the Dodgers win on the margins.
Yeah, that's the type of player you want. Like I said, you already got the moves ready. Like I said, they've already made a statement. Mookie's going the infield. They've already said that. They don't know if it's short or second base, but he's going the infield. They're trying to, less stress on him and what have you. They've already come out and said that. There's no.
Would you want Gleyber Torres and move Mookie to short? Is that an option for you at all?
Not really.
Yeah, not me either. Okay.
No, not really. Not really.
Yeah. Let's move on.
I'd like to. I don't need to think about that one. No, I'm good.
No, absolutely not.
I'm good. It's nothing against him. I don't. Whatever. Whatever. No, I wouldn't want to do that.
So if I could have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, right? And we are going to say Merry Christmas on Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If I could have my Merry Christmas, and I'd have to look at the roster. I don't know who you'd have to cut or whatever.
Right.
Corbin Burns, Devin Williams, Ha-Seong Kim, Walker Buehler, Teo Hernandez.
I'm all in. Yeah. Like I told you, I'd go all in on those. Yeah.
That's if I could just say, hey, who do you want? Go get them. That's my list right there.
There you go. You got
and
your
I'm
list
sure
out
there's
there.
going to be a lot of people disagree with that, because like the speed of Ha-Seong Kim, his bat to ball skills, less boom or bust. He's a certified baseball player. I just think that's why I know I keep saying it, and I sound like a broken record, and I'm probably wearing people out with it. I just think the biggest reason why the Dodgers were different this year is that they executed winning baseball play. I know I keep saying that, but
it's true though.
I can't say it enough. Right? I mean,
Case, that covers. That's not just offense. That covers everything. Right. That's throwing to the right base. Well, look what the Dodgers. I mean, what the Yankees did. They got their ass beat because they couldn't make a routine play. Those are winning baseball plays.
I mean,
not catching a routine fly ball, but making plays.
Like Teo's not a good defender.
Sure.
So if you go out and get another guy that hits, but's not a good defender in the outfield, 2/3 of your outfield sucks defensively at that point.
Yep.
Sucks is too big of a word. Not good defensively.
Sure.
So we saw what 2/3 of an outfield that's not good defensively can do, even when you're the Yankees and they're two Hall of Fame guys.
Yeah.
I mean, having 2/3 of your outfield not be good at all is a large reason why the Yankees lost the World Series. So I just don't see we're going and getting a bad outfielder defensively when you already have Teo Hernandez, who's not good defensively. I don't see why that makes sense for the Dodgers.
No, Teo, you can play with Teo. You're right. He's not elite as far as a defensive outfielder, but he's better than some and better than a lot we've been talking about. So, but he wouldn't put him in elite category out there. And you can't have, like I said, the Dodgers generally had two of their three were really, you got Mookie at right, and usually whoever we had in center field, whoever it was, Tommy or even and Pajes when he was out there. I mean, we had good defensive guys. Kike, I think he even played out there a couple times. He plays everywhere, whoever, Taylor, everybody. I mean, I think the Dodgers.
Yeah. Don't re-sign Kike. Go get him at the trade deadline. That's all you got to do with him.
Yeah, exactly. You know what you're getting with him, and
you don't need him all year.
No.
You just need him for the last couple of months and then the playoffs. That's all you need.
Stay in shape, we'll come get you. Go to the beach, get a few swings in, eat some great food.
Man.
Stay in shape, get a good tan.
Start picking up a bat somewhere about mid-May.
We'll bring you on. Make our run, and he'll eat it up. That dude.
Yeah.
I've been seeing his little. I think it was back in May or something. He's doing his little dance down through the dugout, and everybody's putting music to it. After the Dodgers won the World Series, it's pretty cool. Everything you see now is cool because we won. So all the stuff you see on the videos.
Hey, Coach, I just got off the phone with a guy, Cameron Decker, a prospect in the system. Matter of fact, I'm going to put Cameron Decker's video up. Coach, give me just a second here. I want people to see this. We're going to do a little bit of a down on the farm here, and we're going to kind of talk about this together with some of the fans here. And if you have any prospects that you would like to see, please let me know, and we can get to them. No doubt about that. Give me just a second right here, Coach. And I want to get it right here. This is the one I'm looking for. And
from the belt, the 1-2 on the way, breaking
audio.
ball.
This is called production online. So sorry about that right there. And then let me pause that and then push this over to videos. I want to show you this, Coach, and I'm going to show it to you too. Okay, let me push that over, and then let me turn on the virtual camera, and let me switch this right here, and you're going to be able to see it, Coach, right there. Okay, I think you can. Yep, right there. Okay, this is Cameron Decker right here, Coach, and all your Dodgers dogs out there. We're going to go through the down the farm here. This guy right here, and I want you to just kind of watch and see what you see here, Coach. This is a young man that had 10 RBIs in August, okay, in one game. By the way, that's Kendall George right there on the right. That's the Dodgers' #1 draft pick from last year. I had a chance to talk to him last summer. That's Cameron Decker right there. Watch this. Pow. Okay, so let me tell the backstory on him, Coach. Just look at Kendall George run right there. This is a game where he had 6 hits. That young man right there, Kendall George, had 5 hits in that game.
Jeez.
Okay, so Cameron Decker had 10 RBIs. So to go back to high school, he had a grandpa. His grandpa, Cameron Decker, played with Pete Rose with the Reds. How about that, right?
Wow.
His dad was a big-time quarterback and pitcher. His cousin his brother actually just started at the University of Indiana on their baseball team, and his cousin also played professionally. So this guy's a dude. So he gets drafted out of high school, Evansville, Indiana, at North High School in Evansville, Indiana. He gets to the Dodgers in 2023, gets off to a good start. Actually, he starts 0 for 14. And he finally gets his first hit, and then he starts rolling, and then he has a hand issue and has to miss all of 2023. His senior year, Coach, in his first 4 pitches he saw, he hit 3 home runs in his first game of his senior year. So this is a guy, Cameron Decker, right here, that missed all of 2023 because of a hand injury, came back in 2024, finally got things rolling about June because, he kind of got back to used to seeing live pitching, and he came straight from high school, so it was not an easy thing for him. And I'm telling you, this dude has some of the most massive power of anybody that I have ever seen. Cameron Decker is a young prospect in the Dodgers organization, and I say it all the time. Hey, you can't evaluate them until they really get to Tulsa because all they have right now is great talent. We don't know if they're a great baseball player yet, and that absolutely is the case. You just went through his entire game of 10 RBIs. But this is a guy, Cameron Decker, that for real you need to put on the top of your radar at the front of your Rolodex because this guy is absolutely awesome. Tell me what you see of his video here.
Is he going to be in Tulsa next year? Is that where he's slated to be?
He'll probably start in Great Lakes, and if he has a really good year, he might make it up to Tulsa. He's only, I think, 19 or 20. Still a kid, Coach.
Still a kid.
He got drafted in 2023 out of high school, right?
What position they got him playing? What's he projected as?
I'm glad you said that. He started out as shortstop in high school, and then they moved him to first base, a little bit of left field. So right now he can play infield, he can play outfield. He's obviously an athlete enough to play shortstop. Like he committed to UCF. Matter of fact, when he got drafted, he was actually at UCF because he went to UCF early to get started, and then decided instead of going to UCF, he took the professional contract. But he was going to be a shortstop at UCF. So this is a guy that's athletic enough to be a shortstop, but yet he is powerful enough to just hit light tower home runs. So really, really huge on this guy. Pretty good looking player, isn't he?
Yes, he is. That's a plus if he's going to go, say it'd be like a Chris Taylor, Kiki Hernandez with power. If he can play a lot of positions.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a plus for him and a plus for the Dodgers because, the older he gets, he's a young man right now, and they see that potential. They can plug him in where they need him. Obviously, you don't need a first baseman right now, but for a while, and Freddie's plugged along pretty good. But you always find a spot for a guy, especially outfielder. I mean, that's always going to be a position.
He could play third base. He could be the next third baseman.
Yeah, that could be the next thing after months he starts wrapping up, and this kid will be ready to step right in there. And that, so that's good for him that he's got not just I'm just a first baseman, can't play anywhere else or whatever. But so that's good. He's a good looking kid.
He is, Coach. Big, tall, lanky, great athlete. Another guy I wanted to get to tonight, Coach. You'll like this. I wanted to show you this guy and Dodgers Dawgs fans because he went to Washington State, and guess who recruited Elijah Hainline, who's who we're talking about here, a shortstop utility player he actually ended up his college career at Oregon State. But Marty Lees recorded him to Washington State. How about that?
That sounds like a Marty Lees deal there, yeah.
Yes.
Marty's a great evaluator, talent, great coach.
That's all you need to know, isn't it?
Yep, that's all I need to know. If Marty was on him, he's a great, I said, evaluator, talent, great coach. I coached with him last year here at Stillwater High School. He's been in Division I, Oregon State, and he won the national title 2 times. He's been at Oklahoma State. Infield off the charts. His infield coordinator, they got him going all over the country doing that stuff. With USA Baseball, he's done a lot of stuff for those young kids there too. So if Marty was on him, he's legit, and no doubt about it.
So Elijah Hainline, I wanted to tell you a story here. This is his first professional hit here. It's 106 miles an hour. I'm telling you, when Elijah Hainline's TrackMan data comes out, people are going to see his exit velos and go like, "Oh my God, this guy hits the ball incredibly hard." Elijah Hainline has a lot of power. He's a great athlete. He has a great arm, and he has the clutch gene. So he grew up in Spokane, Washington, a Gonzaga fan, but he always wanted to play baseball at Washington State. Goes to Washington State, has a great first 2 years there, and then his coach ends up going to Wichita State. Coach Green takes the job at Wichita State. Okay. And if you know anything about college, once you lose the coach that recruits you, you don't have a coach that has your back. You got to go, right? Yep. And unless the next guy you know or you trust him, whatever. So then Mitch Canham offers him a position there at Oregon State, and he goes to Oregon State and has a great year there at Oregon State. Gets drafted last summer and is just a tremendous player. Always played shortstop. He can play. He played it the first year at Washington State. I say he always played shortstop, but anyways, he played some third base and second base just trying to get on the field. But this is a guy that is a plus athlete. He has a plus arm, and he hits the ball really hard. As a matter of fact, his first professional hit, that one right there, is 106 miles an hour. Okay, and so he hits the ball very hard. And then also, I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes of what I like about Elijah Hainline is that his oppo percentage, his center percentage, meaning how many times he hits the ball to center field, and his pull percentage are all basically exactly the same in the low 30s. So he spreads the ball. You talk about the spray chart. He spreads the ball. You're seeing it right here to every part of the field equally. To me, when you put a wooden bat in a guy's hand and he has strength like Elijah Hainline does and athletic ability, that translates to success at the professional level because he knows how to identify pitches and hit them where they're pitched.
That's a great trait to have because I don't know how many times we've sat there and thrown a guy in the last part of the game. You're going, hey, we've thrown this guy every pitch we've got to different parts of plate, and he's 4 for 4. That's such a clutch gene to have if you can handle the bat, especially when you go to wood, when you get out of college and high school, you get to the wood bat, and you can handle that and hit the baseball anywhere. Of course, the pitching gets better as you go up. That's going to level some of that stuff out, but that's a great trait to have. And kids sound like he had a lot of great training, playing Division I baseball with some great guys, and now he's doing his thing on the big league or the minor league level.
Coach, here's another guy right here. I showed him a last show, but I want to show him one more time. This is Ronaldo Yeen. Watch this, Coach. Watch this. 104.
Jeez.
Yeah, 104, man. And matter of fact, I got to ask, look at that hitter, Coach. That's a professional hitter. Look at this, okay? Watch this professional hitter. He's like, what? And now watch him just stick his bat out at it and just, okay? Just trying to survive right there.
Just trying to make contact, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to make contact right there. So I wanted to show you another guy in Ronaldo Yeen that is really, really, really good. I want to show you one more guy tonight. I think you'll like him, Coach, because he went to Tyler community college, and he's very unique. This is going to be the last guy we're going to cover right here. This is Noah Roon. He grew up in the Austin area as a Texas A&M fan. It'd be like growing up in Stillwater being an OU fan, right?
Yep.
Or growing up in Norman being an OSU fan. So you got to like that because he doesn't give a about what people think, obviously, right?
Yep.
But what I like about him, Coach, and I'd like to just kind of evaluate, how about the sidearm, man, the Dan Quisenberry's thing?
I like it.
You like that?
Yeah. Go get that natural movement, get that natural run back in on the righty.
Yeah.
Anytime he drop down there, get that movement. He's going to run away from the lefty here.
Yep, there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? So what I like about Noah Roon, you get in professional ranks, Coach, and they all throw 94, 95, 96. They all throw three-quarter slots. They have the cutters, the high riding. He has some uniqueness. He's different, right? I mean, that's got to give him an advantage, don't you think?
No, I think it's great. You see a lot. You get good movement on the ball. He can do a lot of different things with it. That arm angle. I mean, a lot of people try it. A lot of it really, down through the years, the Dan Quisenberrys and the other world, Bruce Suter back before that. A lot of guys that did that sort of stuff made a living out of it. I always go back to Kent Tekulve. He's about 6'5", 170 pounds, and he dropped down that arm about that big around and made you like it. So there's that movement factor, and hitters just don't see that. It's just a different arm angle. We talk about changing the hitter's eyesight. Get his line of sight. We're going up. We're going up. You change. You can't have to be the same level where you get too good a look at things right there. And a guy like this can change it quite a bit.
Absolutely. So there are some prospects there as we move it back here. Let me turn this back to my camera here, Coach, so you can take a look at my ugly mug. And
mine was too big there. I saw my big head
right here. Okay, there you go. Okay, Coach, do you have any final thoughts? We have had a wonderful show. It's been a lot of fun talking some hot stove, talking some World Series championship, talking a little bit of prospect talk. We've had a great show. Any final thoughts?
It's just great to be back with you, Case. I know I don't think we've been together since the night the Dodgers won it, and I've been my athletic director duties. Small school basketball in Oklahoma starts November 1, as you know, Case, and we've been hitting it running. It's one of the few.
You need to get me over to referee some of your junior high games, dude.
I looked at our list today. You're not on there. Terry Porter's on there. Him and Rick Mills.
They think it's too far away for me.
I need a Casey Porter. I need a Casey. Tell Danny Gacious we need you over there. Get your butt. I do have some openings on there. I'll look on there and send it. Send it to me.
I want to go to Glen. I've never been in that new gym.
You got to come over. Over. I'll cook you up a good hamburger too.
Oh, man. There you go.
I've been grilling a lot of hamburgers over here. Boy. And you've got some Dodger dogs cranked up over here in Glencoe, America. So it's great to be back with you guys and all of our Dodger dogs. I know our fans are the best. The people that watch us here, and it's so great to have them on there in their comments. They're so intelligent too. They're baseball guys.
Gosh, yes.
They
Aren't
love
they
their
fun
Dodgers.
To talk to?
Yeah, they're fun to talk to. They love their Dodgers. They love baseball. You can just see the passion, and we're already geared up. We're all gearing up towards next year. I'm still celebrating quite a bit, and I probably will till the first pitch next year. But it is what it is. But I'll just shut up. It's great to be with you. Great to be back with the Dodger dogs. And
have you not learned yet that the Dodgers dogs do never want you to shut up, Coach? They love you.
I got to think, if there's anybody, these guys from the northern states or California, they're going, man, what a hillbilly. Listen to that guy talking. Sorry, I was born in Texas and raised in far southern Oklahoma, and I never got rid of my voice there. You guys that saw my brother Rex, a radio boy on here, he got rid of the Texas accent. I never lost it. So I just love to talk baseball. I love talking UK. I love to talk about the Dodgers and with our Dodger dogs. So it's been great. I got some homework to do. I haven't been good like you and Austin, and you guys are spot on your coverage of our the prospects all the way up, and y'all do a great job of that. I'm never going to be in that category, but next time if I need to get on here, I'll.
No, it's going to be just like this. Hey, take a look at this guy. How's he look to you?
I can do that.
We got me to know all that stuff.
Yeah, and some of it might even make sense, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just all opinion anyway, man. Right. That's what this is all about. I just give my opinions and just keep going. So, hey, I love our Dodgers. Love you, Case. Tell your family hello, and Bev and Terry, the whole crew. And I will send you those dates. I'm going to look it up tomorrow and send you some dates if we can get you over there.
Absolutely. I can waddle up and down the court for 3.5 hours or so there at Glencoe.
I can show you some waddling. It wouldn't be you. There's some guys that can waddle. Rick Bales can waddle the best.
Absolutely.
Hey, Rick's a big Dodger fan, though. I saw him yesterday.
Yeah,
he's one of us, man. He's all in. He had Dodger gear on yesterday. So.
I worked with the guy, Rick Bales reminds me, I worked with the guy last night that took forever to throw the ball in bounds. We're doing junior high games. Finally, I said, dude, throw the damn ball in bounds, because when you're not throwing the ball in bounds, the freaking clock is stopped, right? And we don't get paid by the hour. So that's whatever you said, Rick Bales. Like, the whistle blows, the ball goes out of bounds, and the ball is put back in play like a half a second later.
Yeah, and your
the clock never stops in Rick Bales' referee.
Get Terry Porter with him. Your dad's even quicker. I've seen your dad throw it into the kids, say, just play.
They're not even lined up yet for the 2-shot foul. And he's like, the hell with it. It's only the first shot.
I've seen your dad stand there holding the ball, and the kid wouldn't come to it. He just threw the ball in and started the clock. So
yeah, absolutely.
These guys don't mess around. I love it. So I love those guys. But
Coach, I love you too. It's a great day to be a Dodger.
Go Dodgers.